It's one thing to touch, but it's a whole nother thing to touch to make the neurological changes. And once you learn those, then it's amazing what you can do.
And I now totally understand why you don't care what people come in here with. You can figure that out in about 5 seconds, can't
Yeah,
you?
well, it's not that I don't care, but I'm still looking for just the efficiency of the system.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care if you drive a Lexus or a Ford Chrysler, whatever. It's just that is your car efficient or not? And if it's not efficient, it doesn't matter. You can have the best damn Mercedes, but if the engine doesn't work, what does it matter?
Pile of junk.
Yeah. If it doesn't get you to the grocery store, just lift your head up for a second. This pillow guy. Okie doke. That's better. So we're doing this for Sophie as well because she's hurt her jaw.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
When?
a week or so ago.
Doing what?
She doesn't know.
Chewing on a jawbreaker?
Maybe.
So,
That was amazing what you did.
well, now you can go then. So I'm just going under here under the mastoid process, and I'm just again feeling not only how the head goes left to right, but also the tonus going up from the left side to the skull and from the right side to the skull.
Now, I've been outdoors since 9:30 this morning.
So
Resetting
you
all
smell
the...
as good as you look?
Yeah.
Okay,
I had a shower before I came.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And setting all the timer clocks on 42 units. Fixed 2 sprinklers. Talked with people. Didn't realize it was 1 o'clock when I got home. Dove into the shower. I've had no lunch. I may get some when I leave here. No,
I have a bar. Do you want me to get a bar out?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm not one of those that has to eat. I can reach down and find more energy to carry me through. I don't know what that means, but a lot of people can't go until they eat.
Are you writing good things about me in that book?
Always. I diagram those.
I think Kevin was as amazed as I was how my head got lighter.
I was indeed.
Well,
I
again,
was.
Kevin's been watching this a lot, and he's had a couple of lessons, but until you actually feel it, it really,
Oh,
that's your learning. Same
you-
with the baby, until you do it. So now John has a different neck structure than you do, so what I'm doing first under John, and he loves this anyway, it looks like I'm squeezing, but I'm doing my circles. So I'm actually lifting up through the left and coming down through the right. This takes a while to learn, and then someone probably watches this and they're like, oh, I get it. Then you go up through the left, midline, and down through the right.
But where your thumb is on a sore spot that gets better because she fixes it. But she's doing her circles.
And this is the opposite. Up through the right, over through the left, and down. But from there I can tell he's pecking. Now here he wants to peck with the head lag behind. So if you look at just the gravity of John's head, notice how it's much easier to bring the chin up, seesaw, versus this way. So the top of his cranium is just heavier in general than the bottom of the skull it presents. Most people would say, well, yes, that's obvious. No, the human body is made to handle those adjustments mathematically. So just like if you had a horse head pump and so forth, it's going to be lighter on one side than the other, but the mechanics are set up to compensate for that. Well, so is our body. We're not all walking around except for extremes where, like, have the large head syndromes and all that, hydro, or the head is going to get tossed back.
Hydrocephalus?
Right. But you don't, your head's larger on top, but you're not walking around like this. Anything, you were coming in walking forward because you're just a tall boy looking down. So, but when you're actually holding a head, so watch that again, see how it's much easier for me to present him this way than to roll this way.
Do you normally see that with people? Just other
All depends. Like the man who just left, I'd be lucky if I could get this out of him. I wouldn't get the seesaw even. John comes for lessons, so his seesaw is a bit more available. So, but John's gonna get his face worked on very similar to what I did with you. So, and for this one, I've got the camera set up, so I'll do left, right, where it's your side. So what I'm doing here is I'm applying just a pressure into the jaw. I'm also right on the vertebrae. So I'm there, so what I'm looking for, and then my hand is across the temple. So I'm looking for not just the rotation left, right, I'm looking for the rotation almost down towards the shoulder and see where that goes. But I want to make sure that the jaw is in tandem with the top of the head. So again, this is my test drive, so let's just see. I'm going to go on this side with my hand, same positions. See, you can see the difference here. So, feel that, John? That the top part of your head is much heavier in a sense over
Yeah.
in this way? Now, John hurt his neck very badly for years when he was a kid on the left. It could be that, it could be because he's right side down. I mean, you know, the list can go on and on. Again, I'm just going for the movement. So I saw that the right side was nicer, and I'm going to go for the right. Now, immediately where I'm going to change from your lesson to his is I also notice that there's movement through the top of the head and through the jaw, but his sinus cavity, there's very little movement. He's proud of himself. He saw it before I said that. So I'm going to go right in here. Now, you can grab a nose 15 different ways. It all depends on how the nose presents. So you can go this way, you can go, you can go like this a lot to pull. But with the way John's nose is shaped, I can fit my little hands in here. And there we go. So you're ready now, look at the difference. So now I can come in here. And you see here, see how the nose is starting to
You
torque?
see how his nose starts to bend to his
Yeah.
jaw.
That's amazing.
Do you feel the difference?
I'm tingling on my knees down.
John's my tingler. So feel the difference?
Yeah, this
Now
just
it's
falls open.
Now I'm ripping his jaw off, but now the difference is quite interesting. So I'm still gonna go in here with the sinus cavity. And again, he could have been hit here, he could have a deviated septum, he could,
I had to get the neti pot out last night
Yeah.
because my sinuses were plugged.
So the fact that a sinus could be plugged could torque the rotation of it.
Absolutely. Now you can really go into thinking about the myofascial tissues and how it affects, the same with scar tissue. Anything that the body is suddenly different than the brain's used to it being as it's developed is different. That's all it is, it's different. So that's why colds are so annoying. It's not that people don't go to work because they have the flu, that they're contagious. They don't go to work because they suddenly can't even drive anymore. When you have the flu, it's not that your brain is so distorted that you can't make yourself soup, you can't, all your self-care issues go out the window. And you can say, yeah, I have 100 and whatever fever, but it's different. But you see more from this end, how I'm dealing with the whole torque and rotation of the head through the jaw. So now I can even go in for the bite and come back down. But notice when I come back down, I'm pushing with my thumb into the vertebrae of the neck. I'm not just doing this. I'm always looking to somehow torque the system, the skull, however you want to look at it. So now I can come up, and now here he just wants to even drift to the right. If I put him here,
Get the block.
so again,
This side's screwed up.
Interesting.
It opens. This one didn't open up like that. What's the deal?
so now right here, I feel there's a little bit more in the, I don't even know what you'd call that area of the skull, so I'm sorry.
the
back end of the sinuses anyway.
axillary arch. It's like that, gotcha.
Hmm.
You don't want to apply too much pressure. You got to watch that you're not drilling in, causing any kind of discomfort that way. You don't want to cause a headache, but at the same time, he is a full-grown male who's 6'4", so he's got a noggin, so I can use a bit more force than I would. But I'm also, see, I'm on the top of the jaw joint, right in here. And I'm waiting for him to agree with letting me move it.
Not happening yet?
There he goes. See, the neck has to bend to take it. Feel that? And again, because I could play with John and he likes when I do this stuff.
He does.
See the difference?
Interesting.
See the difference? Again, his system knows what I'm asking for it. I'm teaching it quite nicely at the moment. But look at how he can go into now his shoulder. How nice that is. And also look at how he counters with the chest. So put your hand right there in his chest cavity just to feel it. So just feel the sway. That's a nice counterbalance starting. Keep your hand there. Feel the difference?
Not working on this side.
Feel the difference?
I'll say, let me do on the other side too.
That's weird.
So here, feel the difference? Feel that sway?
Mm-hmm.
So the other way?
There's a sway, but it's much more slight.
Right. And it forgets what it's doing halfway between.
I can feel when you go to the left, it ain't going like the right.
Now, ready like this? Now, this I could say was maybe enough for him, but I'm going to do the whole lesson because on this side. So feel, I can get down to the pelvis, knee, feet, there we go. Here, I can't go through, maybe diaphragm.
That's weird. That's tingling.
But see, that's pure law of minimum physics. Cause and effect, however you want to look at it. But if I can't get my movement to flow through his system, how is he supposed to force his blood through? Nutrients, however you want to look at it.
Good point.
Intestinal function. Look at how nice now, gravity on the skull. If I go this way, versus here. So now I'm going to go back to the jaw. And again, notice how I'm twisting the forehead as I'm talking to the jaw. Now I've gone in about 3/4 of an inch. So here he's more used to it, so go back to here where he was doing it much more efficiently. There we go, neck swaying. So now they'll come in there, now I can teach him. And it's kind of a weird sensation for a lot of people. He's fighting me a little bit because he wants to keep the jaw fit, but he doesn't want to let it go.
You're correct.
See, because right here, I'm actually going in within the jaw and see how much he wants to keep the teeth together. Right here. There it is. You feel a difference?
Yeah.
But again, it's strange for people to sit there and be right there. It's not like I'm trying to get in his mouth. But here, now I can really feel it in this jaw. So that's where I'm hinging the hinges. So if I go on this side, feel the difference, John?
Yeah, there is no feeling. It's just
So here, feel the difference?
fighting you.
That's okay. Don't let it fight me. So I'm going to come in here, again, mastoid processes in the jaw, and see how it's not a left-right. Don't do that. I'm twisting down. There we go, towards the shoulder. I'm going to continue this right now where there's success.
Wow, that even feels good. To get that movement
Oh, yeah.
that I had never moved before.
Feel a difference?
That's not happening this
But
way.
feel also how it's not, see, feel this way. Movement goes up your back and travels down to your shoulder. So it loops. It actually is coming up and down through here. Just feel the movement that way. So as I'm pulling up the left, feel that?
Mhm.
Feel here, there's no movement up the right to even transfer up over to the left. You feel that?
Mhm.
It's much more through the back part of the right side of the back. So I'm just going underneath here, the mastoid process again, all around C1. I'm just guiding here again to protect the vestibular with the left hand, but I'm doing again, working on the rotation. There you go. See, now I can go underneath his head. So I'm going to stop right here just for a second. I want you to sit here and now feel his head. Please.
Just to get under the mastoid and lift and try to move.
Well, first of all, notice how easy it'll be to get under the head. It should be a lot more easier. Ugh.
I see.
I need to drink, yeah, see?
Not all the way under yet, but it was already much easier to get down there.
Right.
On the head's also easier.
Mhm.
Rotation's easier. That's right. It's more difficult on the side you haven't worked on as
Now
much.
you can feel the balance. Feel how also it's sort of like an unbalanced tire. Feel your left hand having to work that rotation. So this section of the head is still heavier versus here. Neat, huh? And now lift them up all the way and just feel that.
I think those fingers underneath this neck a little more should make it easier for you, right?
Well, again, I'm going to teach you in the next hour. This is still your lesson. I
Right.
don't want to steal from you, but
No.
the next hour I'm going to be more specific with Kevin. I just didn't want him coming into your head an hour into it, and your head's going to be like Jello. You know, I want him to at least realize or appreciate what it started out with, so he, he can make more of a education from the experience.
Because I can feel these fingers go right underneath, and
Right.
that makes it,
Well, most people are
Pivotal.
just in general afraid to pick up the head. They don't want to hurt the person. So what I'm doing here, the spot that John likes, his skull goes up quite high in the back, which is nice too. A lot of people you'll find are more rounded in the back, protrude in the back. No two skulls are the same. So, but he has a much more of a higher indentation. And so I'm going under there and literally doing circles with my fingers.
these guys.
There we go, and that's balancing out the head. But see,
Good
the-
Lord, it just started moving.
Right, well, first the
Huh.
circles were only in the back of the head, and now
Huh.
the whole head's getting into that. See the
Oh,
gyro
my-
showing up much
My
more?
whole head's go spinning, isn't
Yeah,
it? I just started doing that. Getting tingles again. Jiminy God.
but again, that just goes back to my, having headaches. So now, so much nicer. Now see how much more his face is like a dish rag? And also I can apply a lot more pressure. I'm still going to go back to the jaw now. Now I'm going to go and actually pick up the sinuses. So as I press right into just the base of the jaw here, At the same time, I pull up on the sinuses. And I'm waiting for one to give.
One of the sinuses?
Or one, either the jaw or your sinuses.
Still fighting on the jaw. I'm not consciously
You're fine.
doing it.
They never are, John. I have to go in and work on this jaw muscle before that changes. So when let's keep it that way. Now I'm actually going to push into the sinus and rotate as I rotate the jaw.
This is all new stuff to me.
Yep. You don't have to come up with new things for you, John. Oh, right there it happens. So I can push down on the jaw and see the rotation through the eyes and the sinuses. Again, I'll do it on the other side.
Not so much.
See how the jaw can lead the eyes. Eyes first. And he gets smoother out, so easy. So now I can go back again to this and see what the change is on. See how the acceleration and everything is getting quicker in the face? And the difference. Any questions?
All right now.
Well, you can make a whole hour out of the head, can't you?
That's what we're doing.
I know.
You're gonna get 2 hours, because then he's gonna start playing with you.
Right. Second hour will be the slow pace.
Yeah, but by then he'll be singing, so he won't notice the difference anymore. So now I'm gonna go up here. He's a very large forehead. So I'm pushing down on the sinuses and twisting up through the head. So literally, the only thing I can think of, I don't know anybody else can do it. My dad can split an apple in two with his bare hands. No.
Just like this.
Right. He can't do it anymore now because he's 75, but it's almost like saying, I'm not looking to crack John's skull, but I'm pushing down on the sinuses, but yet I'm twisting back up through the top of the skull.
It's hard to break solid bone.
Oh, yeah, but look at the difference now. Look how the skull's starting to move, especially on the right side. There you go. Now with this force, which is pretty big for a head, I can go down through the knees, through the right side.
Man, I feel wiggle down.
But here, look at the left,
Nothing.
right? Very subtle. So again, put your hands on his chest like you're doing palate leads. So look towards me. There you go. So here's the right side. Feel it? Very subtle. Here's the left side. Yeah. Right?
Nothing.
Do you feel the subtlety?
Yeah.
Okay. You can also too though how nice the balance is. Also, as his balance integrates more, then I can be quick like this and it's not going to bother him. You just start off with someone start tossing their head around, whoa, then they're going to be in protective mode for the rest of their life. So they won't trust you. Here you can see again that walk like an Egyptian, that counter. So now I'm going to go into the sinuses and the upper jaw muscle. And start going from right to in the center and then start transferring over to the left. So even though my thumb's here and on the left, I'm doing much more of the work on the right. And actually, because of the shape of his cheek, Joan, I'm going to turn around. I'm actually lifting up into the base of the nasal cavity. voice. Come in here again, I'm gonna lift. Gotta remember, everyone, you know, the face is like, I hate to say it, breast tissue. For most people, it only goes south their whole life. You know, they're not used to having the sinuses lifted, the cavities of the face lifted. Ah, there we go, he's picking up his chest. Feel that? So, see when I go here? Feel the difference?
Yes.
So feel, again, it's just very subtle. Now I'm going to do the left side.
Pretty much nothing.
No difference?
I can see it through his face, I can't feel it on the
Okay,
chest.
that's fine. Now I'm going to take both hands, I'm going to go over. So even though I planned on doing more of the jaw, John just happened to need the sinuses more, so I'm just...
Okay.
And now I'm going back to what I did here with the jaw, but I'm doing it through the nasal cavity by torquing the forehead. There we go, I'm hitting the sinus cavities.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know, something like that, you know, not only high-end athlete, because again, the organization of the skull, but singer, any kind of voice issues. Let's see, right there, he's got the glitch on the right side. There
Wow. That's a whole new ballgame. Feels wonderful.
I'll just wait till you get to walk around a little bit.
we go. There we go, that jaw's starting to go. That's much nicer, huh?
Yeah.
Now, John's, place the tongue of the roof to the roof of your mouth.
Mhm.
Feel the difference with the tongue there?
Oh yeah, that's like,
Yeah, let the tongue go. Feel the difference?
that's amazing, that part. She was saying, crunch your pinky and everything stops.
Also notice now too, I can bend the head to the side. Here. Not the same. Similar.
Something like crickety crack.
So now, I'm going to start with the other side. So I don't know if you want to switch that over, or is it fine? So what I'm doing on this side though, is I'm actually lifting up through the mastoid process as I'm pushing down through the lower jaw. There we go, I was waiting for that. One of the whole neck muscles through the back of the skull just released.
Where your right hand is?
Yeah. That's much nicer, huh, John?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I always say, it's, to me, it's like a melt. See, now you can see the difference. So now, if I were to do this, the difference from the... Still, we go back and lift and go into the jaw some more. This is where it's a little bit difficult for me to lift the head, because I put the head in certain positions and I could feel right in that spot it was much heavier than other spots. And again, you have to just look at someone's walking around the block, and if they put their head this way, oh wow, I can't do that, but oh, I can do it, you know, and that's where. And what happens is the head gets so overprotective, or any part of the body gets so overprotective, that's when the brain goes, oh, don't even get close to doing that, because it might hurt. So you can feel the difference between yours sinuses. So I'm actually lifting up through the back of the head and pushing down into the sinus. I'm not getting too pokey, am I?
No.
This one feels a little bit more. Ah, there we go. Sinuses just moved. Now you should start to see much more of that movement of this color. Lift. When I lift, I'm actually taking my thumb and I'm pushing down to like C2, C3, just to counter the head so the head doesn't snap off the body. I'm joking.
Good.
And then let's go see about doing the nose again. So here's the jaw. So we're presenting quite nicely. See how the jaw's now coming down, whereas before I couldn't. But still, I'm gonna go in here, the sinus right here. There we go. Nose freed up.
Hmm.
And now I can really get into the forehead, see that? And start moving the head around much more. And it shouldn't be, although he can correct me, invasive to John at this point.
No, not at all.
Do you feel how the skull's really starting to move?
Yes.
Now, this is where I really like it. Get in here, it's all underneath the eyes.
That would be wonderful. I like that.
So I'm just going in enough to just lift the sinuses. Lifting the skull, I should say, off the sinuses. Watching his breath. And now he'll breathe in, and as he goes out, I just release. Go with the breath. That depends on who you're working on. So as he breathes in, I'm going back in for it. Let him have it a couple of breaths. Kids breathe much faster than adults, so you don't always use that cycle. Like I always like to say, it's almost like water lapping up in the ocean. Comes up, it has that, where it hangs for a little bit, you know, and then it washes back out. That's how I like my flow of movement. That's how I visualize it.
With me, you can dig into the eyes a little more deeper.
Yeah, but that's not the method.
Okay.
Ah, there. So see, I'm secure. Again, I'm watching the temples that I don't cause any. The palm heel to the head really works in this point. There we go. Again, I'm looking for the twist of the head. I can get away with that more with John. Ah, there it is. But this is where when you spend the hour in just the body part that you really go in and confine, just to fine tune it. And I repeat that line all the time. It's just like there's a difference between tuning a Steinway or just a piano. Now again, I go back to the original movement and just look at the integration. At this point now, you can just see the toes, everything's just flopping. Even the nose, look at the acceleration rate in the nose. This is also... See, now the seesaw is more I push down, the jaw lifts, I raise back, the head goes up. Before it was, I had to lift the head into that position and lift the head position. Now it's just a slide. And now he's just becoming a kid and playing with it. But again, most people when they're lying down are just only aware of the back of the head. So now, right now, he's got such sensory in the face.
I do. I am tingling down here all to the toes.
So now I'm going to do that thing with the ears that I did with you. So first I just make contact and pull. And then I'm going to use the palms of my hands just as much. But, and again, I'm not pulling left-right. it's almost like I do have a dish rag going in between John's head through the ears, and I'm just torquing it out. So I'm pulling on the left. And coming back to neutral. And as usual, am I noticing any tone is changing? Is it easier to do the movement? Is the taffy pull greater? Do I see the chest cavity more, interactive with the movement? Now that I go to the right, is that different left to right? And it's significantly different. Right below the right ear, I don't know, it's quite rigid. Do it again. See how I can't pull through the lower ear there? Feel the difference? See how I can pull your ear? See the difference here? So I'm just
You're
gonna,
pulling, but it ain't moving, is it?
right, so just gonna go in and there we go. So now I can go back into here. So I'm lifting the jaw, but through the neck. There we go. So now I'm just lifting up through the mastery processes. You just see how nice the head just rolls. Now at this point, John unfortunately definitely needs a pillow versus you. That's fine. Just gonna come in here because I need where the width of the pillow would be would now is the width of my hand. And that's where I can spin them this way. And again, notice the sway in the chest. And the sway in the chest.
Oh.
So now I'm here, John, so lightly press down your left foot. Back. Do it through the heel. Press down the left foot. There we go. Don't tighten the chest muscles as much, just do the foot. And again with the foot. And let go. Now feel the difference between this side now and this side with the foot.
Good Lord. It's a lot more limber over here.
Because now I just from that integrated the whole body. So now you go down, Kevin, and hold his feet. Just again, just make contact.
You want me pushing with my heel?
No, not yet. Just make contact and feel the difference now. The integration as I go to the left, as I go from your right. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. There should be more from that presence from the left foot. Just because by pushing down, he connected it, so I'll do it again. So now push down through the left.
Heel?
Yes. And see how it gets, feel how it gets easier for him as he does it? And now let that go. So now feel it. Rotation of the pelvis isn't as clear, much less the clarity down to the foot.
And plus, this left foot is present in both of them very strongly, whereas this left one becomes absent when you move to the right.
Right. Neat, huh?
Strange.
So now hold the foot down there. So now push down through the heel through the right. There you go. See how much easier now it's getting?
Yeah.
So now stop, and now hold both feet, and now feel left to right, how much lighter he is. Do you feel the difference, John? So now push through the left, and then push through to the right. And look at how he's coordinating, you know, pretty complex head and foot function. Stop pushing. Yeah. Now look what I can do with the head. See how quick now the feet are? The acceleration. Feel it? Feel how circles? Now even the neck. Feel circles in the foot? No, stop, John.
I'm not.
Your nose, there we go. Feel the circles? Like the ventricles in the heart. So feel this. So if I lift up, I lift down. With that, I'll give you your pillow back. Boom. Pretty neat, huh?
Unbelievable.
Who would have thunk?
I am tingling everywhere.
Well, now because I'm integrating it into your system. Whew. So now when John goes to glean trees, look at how he can go do them this way or this way. Look at a, you know, a roof or something versus, you know, where someone would be holding a wall or bracing or something. And look, there's no gravity involved. He's doing it at the safety of my table. We're all just talking, hanging out, but he still can learn a very complex move just in the safety of just lying down. If someone was playing basketball, could you imagine doing laps like that? Pole vaulting, you know, anything like that, more high end. Even wide defense or something like that to go from, you know, a lower position to go up through the neck, pushing through the foot. Or a baby learning how to crawl up to the couch and cruise. But if I can't get him to do that, let's say, if that was difficult for him, then he can't ride a bicycle. It's impossible. So there's no reason to put him on a bike to be unsuccessful. If he can't do that lying down, just left, right, pulsing, then, you know, and that's what people don't understand. He rode a bike when he was a kid, he should be able to do it now. Yes, he should, but he can't. Why?
You remember the guy that was in our church that could walk fine, but he couldn't run? And you got him to run?
No.
No. He would try to run. Yeah. He couldn't run, but he could walk fine.
He's like, I'm just getting slow. I don't understand it, you know?
What? Back to the initial.
Also, what's really nice too is John's face tonus now, though, too, how much it's changed. And now look at how you can get two underneath. I'm just going in for that palate tongue.
We're having a flood running out of my sinuses.
It finally went, huh? Took longer than expected, I thought. Do you need tissue? You good?
So you moved to sciences and everything, you're just running out right now?
Oh yeah, no reason to hold on to it anymore. What happens too, I've seen also doing a visceral manipulation of the stomach and pulling, when you pull the diaphragm, the visceral tissue away from the lungs. Same thing too, I saw it on a mother and then the daughter. Same technique done, and the second they pulled that diaphragm, no, like, you know, total sinus stream, just instantly.
Sinus stream?
Yeah, because of the myofascial, wherever it was, you know, so.
From pulling the stomach?
Well, the diaphragm from the visceral tissue. That was my first knowledge that, you know, visceral tissue even existed, to know, to do a manipulation like that.
Did you just like pull that out of your hat or what?
No, I went to this horrible seminar. Sorry, I don't understand RMT, so I just don't get it. But anyway, one of my client who was there from Australia said, does this help at all with reflux and stuff? And the PT goes, oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that when it's an easy fix. I'm like, okay, what? So I picked her brain. I'm like, it's break time. So at break time, she did, on the woman from Australia, did a visceral manipulation and showed us how to do it. And then she's like, oh, my baby, my baby. And I said, well, the baby's coming at 5 o'clock when Dad comes to pick her up. Can you do the baby? So I recorded that. I was like, damn, I wish I had my camera. And I'm like, you idiot, you got an iPad. So I'm sitting there. So I have it at home somewhere, but I do it quite often with clients. Or I shouldn't say quite often. You need permission to work with someone's belly, but it's a nice lesson. Yeah, go back to the ears. Now at this point, I can hold onto the ear, and as I pull the ear up, drop the jaw, and torque it that way. What's nice about this, doing it this way, is people are used to listening with their ears. That's great. So if someone talks, they go, oh, but the jaw might clench. So all the association with just the turn of the ear.
Okay,
Sorry.
go ahead.
It's just draining out there, is it?
I'm drowning.
So, and how much nicer now. See, now it's, jaw's not even an issue. So I'm picking up the ear and pushing into the jaw. Letting him swallow once in a while. Yeah, you can hear him now, completely clear in the sinuses.
I am.
I think Kevin still doesn't get me.
Where were you last night?
I don't sleep with you, John.
Oh. Could have been useful.
Thanks.
Well, still had to go in and play with a neti pot.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Now you can really just see you can really manipulate the skull at this point. Almost like a massage. I like it. You just, again, you take this palm heel thing and you just, it's like a twist.
Well, that feels great on the neck
It
muscles that have never moved that way.
It feels great. It looks like I'm taking his head and just wrenching it. It's not that way. You have to wait for someone's tonus to be really at this position.
But I've never moved my head that way, and it feels great. It's like a stretch.
There we go. See, now the neck muscles are gone. And now he's got such a rate of acceleration, I can do this. And also look at the arm length. As I rotate the right, see how the right arm gets longer and the left arm. So he's counter steering through the shoulders, off the head. Does that make sense?
So it's like this.
Yeah. So I can do it.
Oh, that feels wonderful.
Can do it this way, or this one's nice. I call it my motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, that tingle, arms.
But you can see again how the neck and the head are integrating now against shoulder. I can come under here. And again, right now the head's acting like your arms, if they were just integrated nicely. I lift the right arm and his head just rolls naturally to the left and whatever, he's just countering. And that's what a baby would do. And now you can really see though, if I lift left, right, how the hands are more integrated with me. Sorry, I left my phone on office here. And now you can really see the circles in his belly, chest cavity, knees, he's jumping. So now I can just pull up through the mastoid process, and just that pull is going to lift the head up. So notice I'm just pulling back. And because his sense of balance is so nice on the head, it's just lifting up. There we go now. Now I'm purposely letting him fall. There we go. And that's what I'm getting to do. So now at this point, let's do a couple quickies. C7.
Oh my. Oh, that tingles everywhere. God.
So I'm just, same thing, letting that melt happen. The melt that can happen around C7 is just so nice. And then I'm bringing it back down. And then bringing him up again. And now you can see his natural heartbeat in his belly. See his heart beating? So that's how much the stomach visceral tissue has changed, just to allow the movement through just the heart function to show up in the chest. Now that's a good blood pressure compared to what we saw the other day. No, but I mean, the more and more you'll start to see, though, it's like you see stuff and you're like, okay, Houston, we have a problem. You don't have a, and you can help people. Isn't this much nicer than saying, okay, sir, in your chart it says that you had a stiff neck?
No, I don't.
Let me give you some ibuprofen. Try some warm showers. I don't know. I like this one. So now I can lift, see again, and pull through here. And it'll just naturally lift the head up.